Me and welcome to the viewers wherever they are in the Republic of South Africa.
I bet you're disappointed this morning because it isn't quite summer.
Well, these are showers of blessings. It shows that we are hosting one of the top drawer travel market shows for South Africa, for the continent. And we think the gods are turning everywhere and they are welcoming our guests here.
I thought you'd say something along those lines, MEC. Please tell me about the first time you took on this portfolio, what you thought of it, and looking back at the years you've had the portfolio, what do you feel about it right now?
Let me say this is about collective leadership in the province of KwaZulu-Natal. We are really very grateful that in this province we have been able to forge a truly working partnership between the public sector, the provincial government, the municipalities in the province, but more so we have forged a very working relationship with the private sector as well as organs of civil society. What has this done, it has actually ensured that as a province of KwaZulu-Natal, we are able to actually have an industry, in particular the tourism industry, to become an industry that creates opportunities for all of the people of this province. And from the time when one came into office, mine was to try and facilitate the growth of the sector. We have seen the building of the King Shaka International Airport, a huge investment. We have also seen the buildings that have been taking place in the north of Isandlwana. But where we are in Durban, we are seeing a number of projects that actually enhances tourism that have taken off the ground. But over and above that, we've been able to have the first of the provincial tourism master plan, which is aligned to the national strategy. What that tourism master plan says that for the next 20 years, we have a coherent plan about what we can do to grow the tourism in our country. We have become the mega events of South Africa. Anyone who thinks of the Top Gear, you think of MTV Awards that are going to be taking place in June, you think of the Metro Awards, you think of all of the major events that are taking place. Their home now are in Durban, they are in KwaZulu-Natal. And how have we succeeded to do that? Because we've been able to work together in a collaborative manner between the public sector and the private sector.
You boast about all the events that have that now call Durban their home. Did you anticipate this when you first started out? Did you think it would be this big in 2014?
Let me say that for us, Indaba is 35 years in existence. In its 35 years of existence, 25 of those years, Indaba was hosted in KwaZulu-Natal. It has grown in leaps and bounds, and we're so grateful, for instance, to the leadership of Minister Martinez van Schalkwyk, as well as the entire team tourism in the country, that we have now been able to position Indaba as the premier top travel market for the African continent. And for the first time, more than 24 countries are exhibiting here in Indaba. And the next thing that we think we should be doing in growing Indaba is to vigorously go out there to court international buyers to come and participate in Indaba. And we've seen some of the buyers, international buyers, having a presence in Indaba, but we want to grow that market share beyond the leaps and bounds of our continent. And we're very clear that our strategy as South Africa, our strategy as KwaZulu-Natal, is the one of aggressive growth, but ensuring that as we grow this cake, we're able to share the spoils with our neighbors, with our sister countries in the continent.
The city of Durban, though, did you anticipate that it would be this big this year?
I can safely say we did, because it is a cause of planning. It's not just did not happen on its own. The city of Durban and the province of KwaZulu-Natal, we work in a synergistic approach. And that's what it does. It helps us as the provincial government and the local government to be able to have coherent plans. So when we work with South African tourism, whom we work so well with them, and when we work with the Department of National Tourism at the national level, our story is one story. And therefore, we can tell this good story about the work that we are doing here in KwaZulu-Natal, the work that the city is doing here. But I also want to emphasize that the industry has come to the party. And the mere fact that the industry is also playing its part, it makes the growth to be an inevitable thing.
More often than not, we assume that the hospitality sector of the tourism industry is the one that pulls in the crowds. But I'm sure the arts and culture portfolio has done a lot of work in assisting your portfolio in this province. Please speak to us about art tourism in KwaZulu-Natal.
I can safely say that one of the things that makes us as the continent, the African continent, as also as South Africa, to be different than other markets elsewhere in the world is because of our creative industries. And therefore, art becomes a crucial leg in that, including heritage. And it is in our interest to ensure that in the process of building the industry, we're able to market both our arts and our heritage. And in KwaZulu-Natal, we've combined those so very well and work so well with my colleague, Sibhidla Sapeta, who is in charge of the arts and culture in this province. So we have got a seamless process in terms of growing the tourism industry. And going forward, we think it holds very dear prospects for growth.
Dr. Mabuyakhulu, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much, Tumi.
Sure. His name is Mike Mabuyakhulu, and he's the MEC of Economic Development and Tourism in the province of KwaZulu-Natal. Let's take an ad.